Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, anyone tried yesterday's example? You done BMI calculator? Only design, huh? Created. Good. You posted into classroom. Anyone posted that into classroom? You, whatever exercises you are doing, right? You post them into Google Classroom so that other people can see and I can even watch that. So, the BMI calculator. No one tried? Huh? No one posted here. Huh? You try to design that BMI calculator and submit here so that I can check. Okay, whatever exercises you are doing, any additional exercises you are practicing, those all you submit in classroom, right? So that it will help others also to practice and we can see what you are doing, right? Right? Even whatever class exercises I showed in class, what I showed, those if you have designed more good with interface and all, then those submit them. We can see that, right? Those all such templates, how you created them. Okay, na? Right? So you try to design and submit that, right? So yesterday's EMI calculator you created, that practice, na? EMI calculator, right? Right. So you try the design, you try these designs and work with them, huh? Right? So next important is how to upload. You can directly comment here. So into Google Class, you can directly upload your work. You can even comment in this, right? I posted a material. Under that, you can post your comment. Currently, I am using admin, right? You will have comment option or you will have an upload option. You can upload that. Okay. All right. So, yeah, not only functionality, you have to create good design also. So only functionality is not enough. Huh? First, you concentrate on function, working properly or not. Then you have to concentrate on design. You need to get a good design also. Okay. That means you try to implement your knowledge of HTML, CSS and bootstrap like concept, right? You can try them. Okay. By using that, you try to create. Okay. So these are all related to which data type we created. Number type, related to number type we are using. Okay. Now we will go into another concept. So we will see here another JavaScript string type. JavaScript string. Number is for handling different types of numeric values. Now, what is JavaScript string type and how do we handle the string? Actually, what is a string? String is a literal with a group of characters enclosed in we have double quotes. These are double quotes or enclosed in single quotes. They are enclosed in single quotes. They are enclosed in backticks. So we have backtick like this. This is backtick. So generally string is a literal and this is a string literal which contains a group of characters. And the group of characters means alpha numbers and anything. We can enclose in double quotes, single quotes, backtick. What is difference between these three? Actually, double and single quotes are used for inner and outer strings. For inner and outer strings. Double quotes and single quotes are used for inner and outer strings. We can use inner string, outer string, so by using single quote and double quote. Actually, you can switch between them. You can swap between those. That means, for example, suppose we are writing a string var link. Link is a string. So string means I am writing here anchor. And I said home and anchor close. It's a string. It is a group of characters, alphabets, so symbols, special characters. Now important is this anchor will have href. Href is again expecting a string. You cannot write again double quote. That is invalid. That means in a string, you cannot have another string in double quote. You have to use single quote now. In that we have to write home.html. That means single quote is defined. Single quote is defined. Single quote is defined by using, so inner here it is defined for inner string. You can use vice versa also. That means what you can do is you can create a link and outer string you can put single quote. And here you have anchor and here you are defining href. Now inner string will be in double quote, home.html. You cannot have again single quote. So now we are writing some home and anchor close and it is single quote. You can have string like this. We have a string defined in single quote and double quotes. So usually when you are writing string, so in JavaScript, you can have a string defined in single and double quotes. Let's see here. Suppose we are writing a string. Let's add a new file by name string.html. Now here I am creating a simple page, a simple script here. Now I am writing where link is equal to, so anchor home and href is equal to again double quote not allowed. We have to use single quote home.html like this. And this is a link document.write. I am printing that link. You can see that is working fine. That is a string. We can have a string in this way. Right now, important is this will be functioning if there is home page. Currently, I don't have a home page. If it is having, it will be working. Now, there is another way of representing the string. We can keep outer string in single quote. If outer string is in single quote, inner string cannot be in single quote. Again, you have to put in what? Double. You have to put in double quote. That means now you can see this is also same. It is also same, right? That means you can give single or double. But what is problem with this string? Means what is the problem with inner and outer string with single and double quotes? The problem is actually, so string requires string with single and double quote requires lot of, we need lot of concat technique with the dynamic value. If any dynamic value is coming, lot of concatenation technique is required. Concatenation technique is nothing but you combine a string with a plus, understood? Some dynamic value. Like this, we have to concat. And you need to concat a string with a dynamic value like this. We have to use a lot of concatenation. Plus, 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 lot of combining with the dynamic value. I will explain here. So string with single and double quote requires a lot of concat technique with the dynamic value. So what is that problem I will show here? Let's see. Suppose here we are having var. I will give, so user name is equal to prompt. I will say enter name. After that, we are having age, parse int. So prompt, I will say enter age. And I want to print a message. Hello user, you will be age +1 next year. That message I want to print. Then I will put a message MSG1. How do you write the message? So here we have to put string. In the string, we have to write the word hello. Okay. After that, to that hello, I need to concat this username variable. Then we have to use which operator? Plus. Plus, what is the variable? Username. After that, my string continuing, then again plus. After that, I will define you will be. You will be. After that, again concatenation, age +1. That means I have to put a parenthesis, age +1. Age +1, that is dynamic. After that, again concatenation. I will say next year. This is how lengthy we have to define. That means hello user, you will be age +1 next year. This is what we need to configure. Yesterday also you saw that when I printed the EMI calculator, when I printed how much EMI they need to pay, you saw a lot of concatenation here in JS file. Yeah, in the JS file. So you see EMI JS. You see in the result, I need a lot of concatenation. That means here I have to write your monthly installment amount is bold, and you see plus math dot round plus span plus p plus in plus so much concatenation. Now this is how generally we need to manage a string actually. So manage general string. But now what is advantage? This is working fine. This will work fine. Let's print the message. Document dot write. We will print MSG1. So I want to add a line break. Then I have to use what? BI. Now it is working fine. That means you see here, when I refresh here, you can see when I refresh, it is working. Enter name John and enter age 23, and it says you will be 24 next year. But see spaces. There are no correct spaces. That means hello John. Hello and John must have some space. Space left, space right. Generally, if you want such space, you see here, we will not recommend to give space like this. Because if you write any space at the end of string or beginning of string, they are called leading spaces. We call leading spaces, and those spaces are deleted later in programming. Generally, when a developer reads any string, they delete leading spaces and read. For that, we will learn some methods. How do we do? It's compulsory. Majority of times, our developer writes the logic in such a way that they will remove the leading spaces and read. So giving an extra space like this is not recommended. Then how generally developer gives a space? For a space, again plus and space concatenation. An empty string is given like this. And we use again plus, and again here concatenation plus. That means actually one is enough. One username. After username again concat space. After you will be again concat space. After age again concat plus space. This is a lengthy specification. Generally, this is how we need to write strings with a lot of concatenation, even if it is a single quote or double quote. Now you see with the single and double quote, I am entering name John, age 22, then it says you will be 23 next year. That looks now better. But lot of concatenation is required for representing a string. Now what happened is, this is how generally we have to do. What happened is, here syntax I will give. Syntax is like just you have string and we have plus var. So we have plus again string, again plus we have some var. So or say we say some expression. So again we have some plus string. Like this, you need a lot of concatenation. Now to overcome this problem, what happened is ES5 and ES5 plus versions can use backtick for string. They can use backtick for string. Earlier it was not there. ES5 and higher versions, they can use this backtick. What is speciality is backtick allows a string which can embed expression, which can embed expression means you can integrate an expression in that string, which is not possible in single and double quotes. You can embed an expression. So ES5 higher versions introduced data binding expressions. Data binding expression, which is called $curly brace. That is a binding expression. We call as data binding. Generally, if anybody asks, so you learned some latest JavaScript, then what is data binding here? Data binding is nothing but data binding is a process of accessing data from a source and binding to UI. And how we do data binding? Generally, we don't do data binding, we do data concat. But binding is introduced from ES5, where you can use a binding expression. Binding expression allows you to bind any dynamic value to your string. How it can bind the value? It's very simple now. See, that means what you can do is syntax, when you are writing backtick, in the backtick, you can write a string. Remember, this is not single quote, it is backtick. So it is present in which symbol? Tilde. On your keyboard, you will have tilde. On the tilde, you will have backtick. So here, string, now after the string, you don't need any concatenation. What you can do is, you can put a binding expression var. You can write another string and you can put a binding expression. Here you can write your expression. After expression, you can write your string. This makes your string simple. You don't need much concatenations. Wherever you want dynamic value, you just put a $curly brace. That is called binding expression. It's a data binding expression. And it is not allowed in single and double quotes. In single quote, double quote, you can't use it. That means, for example, see now here, I will add one more line, var message to, same sentence, I will use backtick now. In the backtick, I am writing hello, then space, you just continue your string. I will put a binding expression. What is that? Username and continue. You will be, and binding expression age +1 next year. That's it. It will be more simple now. You don't need any plus before, plus after, spaces and all. You can do this. Earlier string is very lengthy. Now the string is very simple. Now suppose here I am doing a break, BR, I will put a break. And I am printing document.write message 2. We are printing both. Both, one is designed with double quote, another one is with backticks, right? Now you see here, when I refresh this, enter name, I'm entering some name, and age, some 24, and you see both output are same. But message 1 is a very complicated string concatenation. Message 2 is a simple binding expression. We call this as data binding. That means that's not a complicated point actually. That means in JavaScript, advanced interviews and everywhere, people ask, what is data binding in JavaScript? Data binding is a technique of binding the data of any source to UI, accessing data from source and presenting in the UI. For that, earlier you need a lot of string concatenations. Now you can use simply data binding expression. Data binding expression is not allowed in double quote and single quote. Let's try this. Suppose I will write another var message 3. In message 3, I am using single quote hello, and here I am using a binding expression user name. You will be dollar. What is it? Age +1. What is it? Next year. I am writing like this. I will print that also. Document.write message 3. I am writing message 3. And you can see it cannot print that binding values. That means age is some name is David, some age is 22. You see, that means they cannot print. That means single quote, double quotes cannot allow binding expression. Binding expression is allowed. It is allowed only through backticks. Only backtick can take the dynamic expression and define. So here, that is what options you can configure. Actually, these are used for creating complex data binders. This is one example how we can write a string. In the modern JavaScript, nobody writes double quotes, single quotes much. We will a lot of dynamic are there, means general string means single double quote. But if there are a lot of expression, without expressions also strings are written in backtick. But backtick is recommended when you are using a lot of bindings, right? This is used for designing a lot of templates in future. Templates means, for example, see here, means how we can bind. Let's see one example now. Suppose I am creating, so var login. Now I am creating a login screen, but this I am using backtick. In the backtick, I can write in multiple lines, more than one line I can write. Here I am designing a heading. And login heading is not standard. It will change. User login, admin login, manager login, like that, it will change. Okay. After that, we are having a data list. And just we are using a data list, and we have a data term. And here term, so we have a data definition, input type is equal to text. Actually, this is also interesting. Suppose input type also is not standard. It will be changing. Input type also will be changing. That means I will put a data definition. Title will be changing. Input type will be changing. Just I will put a button. Button say login. Okay, close login. Now, what is the point is, what should be the title, what should be the term, and what should be the type? It should change according to situation. It should change according to situation. Then see what I am doing here. Dynamic expression. So I am asking user title. Title is equal to, so prompt. So we have what? Enter title. What should be the title? And that title we will bind here. We put a binding expression now. Here we will access title. What should be the heading title? We can change. It is not standard now. Another, what should be the term? That means here I will use, so where. So we will say login name. Login name should be what? Sometimes it wants username, sometimes it wants email, like that. That means we will say prompt. So enter login name. Login name can be like what? Username, or it can be what? Email. We are using email or username, or we can even use like date, like that. I'm just using. That means now what happens here is this I will keep binding expression. This will be login name. Login name. So I will give that. What should be login type? That means you see here where login type is equal to prompt. So you enter type, control type. Control type. So what is login type? Suppose I will say login type. What is the login type you want? Suppose I want login type as what? I want login type as text. For username, it should be text. Login type I want as text, or I want as email, or I want as date. Text, date, these things we are expecting. Now here I will give the type. Here I will put a binding expression. The type comes from where? It will come from what? Login type. Login type. Now I need to print this screen. That means I'm using document.write. I have to print login. Now login is a string with a lot of dynamic bindings. Dynamic bindings. That means you designed a component now. This component can be used anywhere with any kind of requirements. What is the concept of such component design is we can reuse with different. For example, see now, I will refresh here. It is asking enter title. I will say some user login. That is the title. Okay. Enter login name. I want username as login name. Okay. What is the login type? Login type I will give as text. Then you can see it is designed. User login, and here username, and it is what type? Text. We can enter any text. For example, you can check in the elements, inspect. When we are inspecting, and we can inspect here. So we can inspect here in the body, the title, it is of type text. Input type is referred as text. Now see what I am doing. I will refresh this. I will say admin login. Admin login will use email. So that means it will use admin email. And what should be the type? Type should be what? Email. And automatically it will be admin login, admin email. And you can see this is input type as email. That means it will use an email validation also. Right, it uses an email validation. Actually, email validation will work, if it is kept inside a form. You know that to make email validation work, you have to keep in a form. You keep in a form, then this entire concept works with even email validation also. That means you see here, it is asking title. Title is what? Admin login. And what is the login. So you say your email, okay, and it says type is what? Email. Then automatically it changed like this, and I entered something like, and I click on login, it will verify, please include @ it is changing and it is setting a validation. Now I will refresh this. Enter title. Suppose say manager, manager change password, change account, something like this, change account. Now it is date. Login name is your date of birth, like this. And what should be the type? Type is what? Date. And you can see a date picker comes. Manager change account, your date, and a date picker comes. That means dynamically it is changing. And for this kind of designs, you need a lot of binding expressions. You need binding expression. That is what actually we can achieve by this. This is the string with the binding expression. To create such strings is very complex when you are trying with single quotes and double quotes. And remember, single and double quotes will not allow binding expression. So single and double quotes will not allow. So they will not allow binding expressions. They are allowed only in backtick. So when you are writing strings, now I hope you can make this EMI better. You see this EMI string, your monthly installment amount. I will put this here, copy. Let's put that here. So that means, so this is a syntax. So, and you see without binding expression. Without binding expression, it looks like this. Am I right? Now, what is that? This is EMI. We have to define. Now, what is that syntax? With expression, tell me. With binding expression, how we can do that? Backtick. You say your what? Monthly installment amount. Amount is B. And you have what? Span. In the span, we can have class. Class is equal to single quote, what it is? Text primary. You can use single quote or double quote here. And ampersand hash. So 8377 semicolon. And here we need to just put a binding expression. So math dot round EMI. After that, binding expression close, and you continue your span. So you continue to end your span and end your bold, and for what is the amount? P. So, and in what is that expression? Expression is nothing but n by 12. N by 12 is the expression. So here what we have to do? Years. That's how we write. Right? That is how we write. And it should end with the backtick. That is how we write the expression. That means we reduce lot of plus before, plus after. You plainly write a string and you can just put an expression there. That means, so here I will remove this now. Suppose I am removing this and I am writing a backtick. So monthly installment, your monthly installment is how much? That is math dot round of what? EMI, right? We are just using, so is ampersand hash 8377 semicolon. Your monthly is this, So your monthly installment is this. And so for how much? So for how many years? So we have to define another expression. What is it? N by 12. N by 12 what? Years. That's how we write. You don't need plus here. You need to just put a binding expression. Now this is going to work for your EMI calculator in the same way. That means here open with and that is the EMI. So that means here we are designing. I selected the amount. So, and I selected the years and I selected interest rate and click on calculate. So it's some problem. Round math.round. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm adding this one. So years and interest rate and calculate, it will get that. So it is easy for presenting the content. So generally, if there are a lot of expressions to handle, we use this method, right? That is basically how we can present a string. Now, this is one example to understand the concept of how strings are defined. In how many ways you can write string in JavaScript? So we can write strings in JavaScript in how many ways? 3. So what are those 3? Single quote, double quote, and backticks. That's how we can manage. Now, here, while working with strings, a lot of points are there. Another important point you should know is several characters in a string are non-printable characters. Several characters in a string are non-printable characters. That means some characters, when you write in a string, they don't print. That means every character in a string cannot print. Some characters are non-printable characters. That means some characters cannot be printed. You can't print them. Then what happens is, if several characters are not printed, then you expect one result. It will return another result. For example, you see, I am writing a string. I am writing var path is equal to, I am writing here d:/images/ in that some movie.jpg, something like this. And I try to print this path and I try to use that path. Then when I try to use that path in the output, you can see that in the output, it is not presenting as I expected. That means in my string, there are slashes and they are not printing here. After d:/ is not printed. Why some characters cannot print? Some characters cannot print because those characters are used by compiler for some other reasons, for some other purpose. If such characters you try to use, those characters will escape. They will not print. So we call, now these are called as non-printable characters. Actually, you can print the non-printable characters, by using slash. That means any character which is not printing, then you can print that by using slash. That means just what you have to do is slash and you have to put the character. Which character is not printing? Before that character, put a slash. Currently, slash is not printing. Then we have to put a slash before that slash. Before that slash, it will print a slash. right? That means don't think that double slash is to print single slash. It is not that point. The point is any character, if it is not printing, put a slash. That is what actually we call as, that means these are referred as escape sequence characters. Actually, escape sequence characters these are. And escape sequence characters, we can use that like this. For example, suppose you see when you are dealing here. Now what happens is this is not printed. This slash is missing. Then what we have to do, put a slash. This slash is missing. Then put a slash. Now you can see, now it is going to print those characters correctly. It is going to print these characters correctly. That means it is going to use it properly. Otherwise, your strings will go wrong. You will be expecting something, it will be returning something else. This is actually escape characters, how you can use. And very important, actual point is not only slash, any character. Suppose see, I want to print this string must be printed in double quotes. I want to print double quotes. It can't print. Then precede a slash. At the end, I want to print another double quote because double quote is already used for general string. But I want it as character. Then you have to use slash. That means now it is able to print. It is able to print that in double quotes. That means you can even print the double quotes if you want. Then that you can do by using this escape sequence. Now usually escape sequence characters. So just slash. There are some escape sequence characters. We use slash n. Slash n, this is for new line. New line in console type. In console, in alerts, in confirm. But not in document write. Document write is presenting in page. In page, if it is presenting, then what you have to do, BR. Right? If you are presenting as markup, then BR. Slash n will not work. Slash n will work when you are trying to print console, you are trying to print alerts, you are trying to print confirms. If you want in multiple lines, then you use slash. Actually, slash n, we have like slash v. This is nothing but vertical space. So we have slash t. So this is nothing but horizontal space. But that means we call as tab space. These are some escape characters that we use, especially while handling this kind, right? So generally, when you are doing markup, you can add styles. You can apply the styles and we can define them, right? This is the concept. That means I will show you here. Suppose I am writing, so alert. I am writing alert hello, or I will put a BR. So welcome. That means hello and welcome using alert. And you can see they are not allowed. BR will come BR. Then how do we break the line here? Then we have to use what? Slash n. So we have to use slash n. So we need to use slash n. Right? That means it is going to print in a new line. It is print in a new line. So we can use some slash t. That means actually it is going to print a horizontal tab. You can see this is a tab character actually. That's a tab character. It will display. These kind of things you can do. These are all comes under the category of what? Escape. So one careful thing you need to be in while working with strings. What is that? So the characters are not printable. So syntax is what? Suppose we are defining a path and it is d:/images/movie.jpg. Now, and I try to print this path. That means I say document.write path. Then the output will be like this. Output will be what? D colon images movie dot jpg. Like this it will be. So now I need to print it in a proper way. That means then how do we define that? We have to use where path is equal to. So we need to create d colon slash double slash images double slash movie.jpg. Now this is going to print like this, d colon slash images slash movie.jpg, like this. That's how it is going to present. These are very important while working with the strings. So first important is how do we write a string? So that is single, double and backtick. And what is data binding expression? What are bindings and what are data bindings? And data binding is allowed only using backtick. Another point is here. Actually, these binding expressions I showed you through alert. Generally, developers can design them. Developers can design them by using various techniques. That means you can put a drop down. In the drop down, you can ask what should be the control type. That means, is it email? Is it text box? Is it password? Is it number? User selects which one he wants and it will display. Such example I will show you. We will see that, right? And one more point you saw while working with strings, if any string contains special characters, some special characters are not printable. How do we print the non-printable characters? By using escape sequence, that is slash. So that is how we can deal with the strings. Next important, after understanding about working with the strings, means these basic things. Now JavaScript provides several string methods, string methods for formatting and manipulations. So JavaScript provides various string methods for formatting and manipulation. JavaScript contains a lot of methods for formatting and manipulation string. Working with a string is not just writing the string, also to manipulate. That means we have a lot of string formatting methods. Generally, string formatting methods are actual. First, we will see formatting. We will see string formatting methods. String formatting methods we have like bold, we have like italics, we have like font color, we have like font size, we have like SUP, superscript, SUB, subscript. We have 2 uppercase, we have like 2 lowercase. These all are called string formatting methods. By using these methods, you can format the string. But there are limited. Suppose you want border, you want shadow, you want to apply some other effects, then you can also use styles, CSS. You can format a string with styles. We can format a string with classes, right? That means the string formatting, first we will see with methods. Methods means how you can format the string, how you can change the string. Let's see one simple example for that. Bold, italics, font color, font size, and all these options. Let's see simple example here. I'm creating a page. In this page, let's say the title here as string. Now what we will do here is, here we will create a simple screen like this. Suppose we are using data list, data term, and I said user name and a text box. Input type is equal to text, and ID I will give as user name. And here we have another data definition. Okay, now here we have a button. The button is like register. Now what is concept here is the concept is, so if user clicks register button without entering name, it should show some error saying that user name required. And that error must display just below this here in the data definition. That means for this, I will give an ID as user error. User error. That there I want to display the error. When user clicks on register, that means we will write on click. On click, what it is? Register click. On register click, we will write a script here. Script type is text JavaScript, and in the script we are writing a function. What is the function? Register click. On register click, we need to check whether that username is having any string or not. So where username, how to access the text box? Document dot get element by ID username, username dot value. We are accessing the text box. Text box, not text box, text box value. There are two techniques. You can access the control. You can access the control's value directly, right? Now here I will access another user error. User error. So document dot get element by ID. What is it? User error. User error is a data definition. Data definition. It is just a definition for displaying message. I'm writing a condition. If user name is equal to empty, this refers to empty string. If username is empty, then what should happen? So here we will display user error dot inner HTML. Inner HTML. Here we will display username required. That is the message we want to show. Otherwise, if it is not empty, else we will put document dot write. So we say registered. Some message I will give roughly. Now what should happen here is when user clicks the register button without entering name, it says username required. That means it is not allowing to submit. But this username required must be in red color. That means how do you format a string? Actually, to display in red color, when you are using inner HTML and you want this in red color, then you can write like this actually. Font, you know HTML now. In that font, what you have to do, you have to write color. Color is equal to what? Red. Now I click here, it will come like that. But this is a lengthy process for that. Now we have ready-made string functions which can do the same work. That means we don't need to write this. Simply, we can add a function called font color. Which color? I will give the color as red. That means you need to just pass the color name. And you see that, and when I click here, then it says shows in red. I entered some name and click register. It says register. I'm not entering, then it says here username required. And it is displayed in font color is red. We can add lot of formats. So that means we can add lot of formats, bold, italics, size. Actually, these are all HTML. That means you know size, how many you can give. Size, how much number you can give. in HTML, font size, how much number you can give? It can be up to 1 to 7 only. You know HTML, na? In HTML, you learned font tag. How much size values it can take? 7. Maximum 1 to 7. That's how we define. That means you need to know those values. That means now you see here, I am defining red. Okay. I will add one more dot. I will say font size. Font size, how much? Size number. Size number I will give as suppose 5. Okay. I am using bold. I am using italics. These are all formatting functions. And you see now when I submit that, it will apply all of them. Font size, right? I don't want 5. Suppose I define 4 because default size is 3. Default size is 3. You want, I kept 2 here and you can see it will be small, right? It can display those messages and you can apply the formats. You can apply the formats by using string formatting functions. But remember, this is very, very important to understand. So these string formatting functions, so must be used on HTML type. So on HTML type, not text type. HTML type, not text type. Actually, we call it as better to say used on. So non can be used on, must be used on. So non-RC type, non-RC type. You know, HTML elements are non-RC type. Non-RC type means, RC type means they will not allow formats. RC means rich content. In HTML, we have elements classified into 5 categories: normal elements, void elements, RC data elements, raw text elements, foreign elements. HTML elements are classified into 5. Non-RC means the elements which allow formats. Some elements will not allow formats. In them, we cannot use them. For example, suppose I am using inner text. It will not work because inner text is non-RC. It is RC. RC means what happens now? I click register. It will show all that. That means it must be used only the HTML type. That means we have to use inner HTML. If I want to display, so if I want to display in a text box color red, I can't try this because text box will not allow font, color, bold like options. Then how do we do that? I will show you. So we can do that by using styles. But first we are learning what are string formatting methods. String formatting methods. This is one. You have a lot of things. Actually, now suppose when user is typing the name, that means when user is typing the username. While typing the username, that means he is satisfying that name required. In that case, we should hide it. These are all validations. We will learn validations separately, right? Our concept is to understand how to write a string, how to present a string first. How to format a string we are learning. Format. These are all validations we will do later. All the techniques and tricks we will learn. Currently, my concept is not to show you validations. I just taken one example. It is not validation because a lot of other things are required here to handle validation. Now, string formatting means, suppose when user entered, now what should happen if user entered, I want the name to be in capital letters. I want the name to be in capital letters and If user is not entering capital letters, I need to convert to capital. That means you see a lot of online forms. They will ask to enter all details in uppercase letters, and you are not writing in uppercase letters, automatically they convert into uppercase. For example, you have seen such things. Suppose you are writing some bank IFSC codes, right? Any bank IFSC code. When you are writing IFSC code in a website, in PhonePe or somewhere, anywhere, it will take in capital letters only. Even you write in small letter. So that means that is nothing but you are converting that actually. So here, I suppose I will give that here. My intention first is just to show you how to apply formats. Okay, I will use another one here, another term, that is IFSC code, right? And here I given data definition input type is equal to text, and size I will give as suppose some 6, and here I am giving a ID as IFSC, right? IFSC code, IFSC is enough. Okay, and here data no need of anything error here, just we want to format it. That means what I want here, when user is entering the IFSC code, suppose you say SBI 001, something like this, he's entering, then it should be converted into capital letters. Then it's your wish. You want immediately converted or you want after they finished converted, that you can decide. Suppose I want to convert immediately while typing itself, I need to convert. Then you have to use an event for this text box on key up. On key up means immediately after you release the key, it will be changed. After finish everything it should do, then you can use on blur. On blur means when it finished and user clicks outside, means focus. When it loses the focus, then you can use blur. Currently we will use on key up. On key up means verify immediately after every character. When key is released, immediately. On key up, change case. This is the function. Now we will write a function here. In the script, we need to write another function. What is the function? Change case. You can write in a separate file and link it, or you can write embedded. Just for clarity's sake, I am writing here in embedded. Now what is change case function have to do? First, it should collect what IFSC they entered. That means where IFSC is equal to document get element by ID IFSC dot what value. After that, the same IFSC must be displayed in same text box again. That means document dot get element by ID IFSC dot value is equal to whatever IFSC they entered. That means the value you are reading from text box, the same value you are applying to same text box again. But this time we will convert to uppercase. That means which value you read from text box, same value you display in text box, but this time converted to uppercase. And when this change case will fire up on every key up, So see what happens now. So I'm entering some username. I'm entering IFSC code, then I am entering SBI, automatically changes. So that means SBIN something and 000 something like this. It will change automatically. That means you don't need to use capital letters. Even you write in small letters, it is automatically formatted. It's automatically converted into capital letters. The end, I am doing that, you see, on while typing every key up, it will be changed. Right? We say some HDFC. You don't need to write capital letter. Even you write capital letter, it doesn't matter. You don't need to write capital letter. It will automatically change to capitals. Right? This is usually string formatting. Like that, what formats you can apply with HTML? Like this, we can apply the formats like font color. So we can apply some uppercase, lowercase. We can apply some bold italics like options. But if I want border, if I want background, I want to change font style, then these are all not possible using these functions. I want margin left, padding left, top border, bottom borders. That's not possible. Then that means you have to apply. This is one example. Now, if you want that, then you have to apply by using styles. That means JavaScript allows. So JavaScript allows to format a string using style. Using style and class. That means CSS. These are related to CSS. Allows to format a string with style and CSS. But how do we do that? You have to write string dot style dot attribute name is equal to what is the attribute value. Remember, these are style attributes. And very important, style attributes are written in, this is important, note, attributes, style attributes are written in camel case. In camel case. Actually, the style attribute is background - color. But in JavaScript, you can't write like this. In JavaScript, it should be background color. Suppose we have text align. In general styles, we have to write text what? Align. We have margin left. You have to write like margin left like this. We need to define in this way. We need to configure in this way. That's how we need to present the styles. And you can apply the value. For example, now I will remove this here. Username required. This is username required. And to this, I want to apply the formats. If I want to apply the formats for this string, now you cannot apply directly to string. You have to apply the formats to the element which is using that string. Not to string. You cannot apply format to string. This is important. Here, another point is styles are not directly applied to string. They are not directly applied to string. They are defined to element that handles the string. It is defined to element which handles string, not to string. For string, we don't apply formats. We apply form because these are CSS. CSS is not for content. CSS is for element that shows the content. You know, CSS selectors are there. All the selectors are what? Type selector, ID selector, class selectors are there. Those selectors are selecting element. You are applying styles to elements, not to the content. The content will use those styles. So here, how do we apply color? How do we apply effects? For that, what you have to do, you can't apply for this string. You have to apply for this element. That means what we have to do, user error is an element. To that style. Which style? Style name. Style name is color. Color is what? red. You can apply like this. And you can see that now it is going to handle that. Suppose I want bold, then again what we have to do? User error. So user error dot what style dot what, suppose font weight is equal to bold. Bold, like this we need to define. That means font weight, font size, you can see bold. All the styles are defined in this way. But if there are so many styles to apply, this is style, how you can apply the style. I will just give this logic. I will just give this logic. That means no need to change entire program. Only the if condition you have to change. Now applying like this lot of styles is difficult. Then you can simply handle by using class. You know classes. That means you can just apply the classes. That class will allow to handle lot of effects. That means now what you have to do is just here, instead of writing so many styles, we need to apply a class. That means you can define a class. So JavaScript allows to configure effects for element. You can say formats. Configure formats for elements using class, using CSS class. Actually, CSS class is applied by using class name attribute property. Class name. Why it is not directly class? Style is style. Why value is value? Why class is not class? Because the problem is already in JavaScript there is a class keyword which is used by JavaScript language. So that is the reason class is not allowed. We have to use class name. So what you do here is you can write styles in a separate class. You know how to write CSS classes. We will put style dot error. Error style is a class. In error style, what we will do? Color. Color we will keep as red. Font weight we will give as bold. And suppose font style we will give as italics. So we have italic like this. Now this error style must be applied to that element. Then we have to just use user error dot class name. Class name. What is the class name to apply? Error style. That is the class name. And automatically you can see that it is going to apply that. It is going to apply. That means you can apply the same thing. You can apply the same thing by using class. Because if there are many effects to apply, writing all those effects independently is difficult. Then generally what we can do, we can apply by using what? Class. So in how many ways you can format a string present in HTML? Through JavaScript. By using string formatting functions, by using styles, and by using classes. These are the various techniques of formatting, right? Once you know this, now we will see how we can use this in a simple real world environment, where they are used, how we can format them. That we'll see tomorrow. Right? In tomorrow's session, we will see some examples on this string formatting. Then we will go into string manipulation. In string manipulation, lot of queries are asked. If you are attending interviews in JavaScript based technologies, lot of questions are asked logically related to strings. They will ask lot of functions related to strings. 100% in every web developer interview, you can expect questions on strings. Some practical exercises also. Those practical exercises I will give you, right? Tomorrow, after discussing some examples, we will do some exercises. Those exercises I will give in the class. On the spot, you have to submit and show me. You have to write and show me so that I can check your logical skills, how much you can do. So based on what you have learned. Okay, like practical test we will have on the string concept. Once we finish the string format, okay, no? Then tomorrow we'll continue. Okay, tomorrow we'll see that, right? Yes, Chinmay, what is your doubt?
Yes, sir. Actually, I was asking where I'll get the class notes.
I posted a classroom code in the chat box. Go there.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.